All right. And we're back. Believe we are currently rejoining the party in Wade's living room.
Yes.
That is the room that I live in. There are no other rooms.
There's a bathroom, I believe, that we established.
It's called the dying room.
I'm pretty sure Cam is living in your living room.
Yes, I believe Mulberry, the satyr, has just departed, and we are waiting on Riven to come back with some of her gear. Is there anything you all wanted to take care of in the meantime?
Well, now that that's all settled, I think I'll go get dressed. And Lyris goes off to get dressed.
Magnificent. Yes. I believe we did establish last time that that entire scene of negotiation took place with Lyris in a towel.
Yes.
I think, Fal, you had mentioned something before we started about wanting to cast Identify.
Yes, I have scrolls that I do not know their origins.
Yes.
Purpose.
So while you're waiting for your new companion to return with her equipment, sit down and do all the necessary rituals to identify these two scrolls, and you find that one scroll is a scroll of fly, and the other is a scroll of magic aura.
Yeah, I see. That'd be good if I knew what those. I know what fly does.
There you have
Like
fly.
Arcanist magic aura? I do have fly, yes.
Yep.
But now someone else
Arcanist.
can fly, right?
Sell it.
Money,
Money, please.
I mean, it might be beneficial to allow me to fly once in a while. Could
I guess.
Well, if you're that reluctant, then maybe not. Don't worry
Feel like
about
a
it.
flying fish with Lyris.
The flying rainbow
Remind
fish,
me,
the ultimate maneuver.
Can if someone has a scroll, can anyone just cast it?
You need to have spell casting as a class feature to be able to use a scroll.
And you can cast.
I can cast spells,
right?
yes. Fly is not on my spell list.
I think that's a silly
can-
restriction, so I don't use that one.
I can already fly myself. Did you want it?
Yes. Are you kidding? The opportunity to fly without any apparatus would be. I will cherish this up until the very moment I plummet to the earth.
Well, it lasts for 10 minutes, so have fun.
He uses it right up until the 10 minutes.
All right, I got 1 minute left. Let's see how high I can get.
Right.
So, are we heading out soon then? I suppose we have to wait for everyone to be here, right?
Yes, I believe we're waiting on Riven still. Did we want to go shopping?
Well, I always want to go shopping. I don't particularly need anything right now, though, and the place that I get my glitter from seems like it might be unavailable for a while.
What
Under
about
construction.
Hmm.
Do we know of any other
Apothecary is
glitter
also
places?
under construction.
None of this is our fault, though.
Not even a little bit. How
None
could
of
you
it's my
possibly?
fault.
Exactly, that's what I said.
No, just for a time scale, Riven did say she'd probably be back in about 20 minutes, so not super long.
Well, if that's our time frame, I wouldn't mind swinging by the Hall of the Wilds and the Hall of Writs
Yeah.
to see if there's any interesting bounties posted for the region we're headed into.
You got it. Yeah, you're heading right up the Cayana River into the Gilded Peaks. on the north side of Ilathi's forest. Yeah, you can. Is there a particular place that you would like to go first?
I mean, I'd say whichever's closer, but then you would tell me they're equal distant.
They are across the street from each other.
Somehow everything
God
in this
damn
city
it.
is exactly the same distance apart from everything else.
It shifts around you. Don't question it.
I guess Hall of Writs, then Hall of the Wilds.
You got it.
That's not in alphabetical order.
That's right. I like to switch it up.
Wild. Yeah. To pop out quickly from Wade's abode and head down to the Hall of Writs. Wallace Bernhard, the captain of the guard, is in charge of things around here. It doesn't look like he's in right now, but as usual, there is your classic sort of bounty board up on the wall, and it is a little bit sparse right now. As always, there is a extremely old, extremely crumbled apart piece of parchment advertising some long-standing bounty for clearing out whatever is living in the Narrows.
How much was the bounty when that was posted?
When the bounty was posted, they were offering 5,000 gold pieces.
Wow. So they were
Only
aware of how big a
5,000?
threat that was immediately.
Yes.
How long ago was that?
It's hard to say when this piece of paper in particular was posted, but this piece of parchment, but just based on how much it has deteriorated over the years, you wager that this has probably been up here for about 50 years.
About 50 years. Imagine the interest on that.
Oh, trust me, I'm very interested in it.
Oh no, I mean to say, like, if at the time, like, you know how like money like appreciates over time, like,
It appreciates what?
it appreciates your face.
Aww.
Is
I
that
don't-
true?
I don't think you can quantify that.
I mean, think about this. Like 5,000 GP probably, could get you further 50 years ago than it could now. So how much would 5,000 gold be worth now?
I have
Probably how
not
much-
prepared an inflation table for.
Well, we're probably not gonna, you have time before we get to that creature.
I honestly have never been one for finances. See, our shipping business was shut down long before I was of age to partake and learn such things.
Well,
But
me,
if we are able to accomplish my goal, perhaps you could help me with the books.
Anaf and I, we got this.
No.
Oh, and that's a great businessman.
I don't think I could trust him with accounting.
No, we can put him in charge of marketing and sales.
What can I do?
What would you like to do?
Well, is there like a job for someone who just kind of stands in front of the products and makes them more enticing?
You,
It's going to work at the kiosk at the mall.
you mean like a model?
Is that a thing? You can just get paid to look pretty.
I've heard it's done in some of the larger cities.
Oh. Well.
There's also some bards who make a decent amount of money just because they're very good looking. regardless of how talented they are.
So I don't even have to be good at an instrument to be a bard.
No, actually, there was a tavern I visited many years ago where it was just a very attractive woman telling a very interesting story in a very sultry voice.
Oh,
And
I've been told that my voice is kind of high pitched and grating at times.
Well, perhaps storytelling wouldn't be your talent then.
well, some people say that, your singing voice is occasionally different than like your normal voice.
Oh, and then there's the fact that I can kind of do this, and she just like opens her mouth and starts like talking in celestial, which just kind of sounds like this heavenly like cacophony of noise.
I
Do you think that would count?
I would go with that, yes.
Wow, the possibilities, I didn't know.
Well, there's always opportunity out there for those willing to put in the work.
Oh, I don't really like work that much. I've done enough of that.
Well, as they say, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Oh, who says that?
Lots of people.
Oh.
My father, for one, used to say it all the time.
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Wait, surely you've heard this expression before.
Oh, Wade.
Indeed.
Wade knows so many expressions. He even makes some of them up.
Yes, I've become familiar with some of them. Not all of them quite as universally applicable, but...
Well, it's good to know that I have options.
Yes, but frankly, I think you're doing very well at what you're doing now.
Me too. You know, apart from all the causing harm to people whose paths that we've crossed,
Yeah, I was referring mostly to the actual fighting bit, which generally happens after you've caused a mess.
oh yes, I am quite skilled at that. Here. So are we done here?
Oh, look, the Hall of Wilds.
We were walking and jogging.
Yeah, so at the Hall of Wilds, there's a few more things on the board. There's a bounty put out for anyone who would like to some classic perennial tasks. They're always recruiting people to go prospecting, find new ore veins, new different gem mines. The mountains around here have very peculiar, almost unnatural distributions of gemstones. Tend to be lots of different kinds of gemstones that can be mined very closely together up in these hills and mountains. So always looking for any sort of rewards from any of the guilds to locate any new ones of those. There is an advertisement recruiting people to come rebuild. It looks like there's an effort trying to rebuild some semblance of a population base on the island of Harbor Watch. And something that seems a little bit familiar to you, there is a bounty out on a report of some strange lights seen along the River Diaspor.
Oh, okay.
They're offering 50 gold for information about what they are that may be adjusted depending on how perilous it ends up being.
Good to know. Well, I think Lyris is definitely the kind of guy who is just like, oh, I'll take care of this, so nobody else needs this poster now, and just takes it off the board.
You head on back to Wade's abode.
Yes. And as they're walking, he's just kind of showing the others, like, oh, look, this is that thing we saw in the river. We probably should have stopped and dealt with it. We would have 50 gold now.
Well, we already saw it. Was there any information that we gathered about it that we could just tell them now and
I
get
don't
paid?
think we gathered enough solid information to really earn anything.
Fair.
But we have to head back up into the mountains anyway.
That is true. We keep getting sidetracked with other things.
Yeah.
Life could be so exciting.
Hopefully it's not too time sensitive.
Well, I took the poster, so hopefully nobody else attempts to discover
Hey.
what it is.
Reading about it, it doesn't seem like, at least at this report, that there's no reports of anything threatening happening with them. It's just there's lights up there. That's a little weird. They don't look like firelights. They're not flickery.
Yeah. Something to look into.
Oh,
All right.
so as you're walking back up to the house, you see a familiar looking half-elven woman full elven woman walking down the street towards you. The wizard, Riven Fowler, who you had met earlier, is very strange to most of you who's dealt with any wizards before. Seems to be like decked out in armor, has a bow strung across her back as well. Just wearing some studded leathers there. A little bit more armored up than your typical wizard.
Hmm.
All right. Well, you're not leaving without me, are you?
No, we were just checking on the bounty boards.
Anything good?
Some lights up the river, not particularly interesting. Of course, there is also that very old bounty that we're working towards.
You're going after the thing in the straits.
Someone has to.
Eventually.
I'd
Good
ask
luck.
for a bit more money than the bounty suggests. But
We'll negotiate something, for sure. But that thing took my family from me. I'm not going to just let it rest there for the rest of eternity.
like
No.
so many families.
Just be careful it doesn't take you too.
Yes, well, I know I'm not ready yet. We're working on it.
It's good. I personally think it's a little bit of a fool's errand.
It may be.
I have been called that word.
She kind of busts out laughing a little bit. Cam, was it, right?
Yes.
Right, so you said that you started trailing him, yeah?
Yes, we did.
Broxl.
Quite a while. Across the river, went a few hours into, or towards the woods anyway. And we lost the trail a little bit, and then we wanted to come back and check on other things and pass on the information that we had, so... but now we have more information, and we know roughly where he was, and...
All right, well, I'm all ready to go, so got a long walk ahead of us today. Let's get moving.
All right.
Looking and talking.
Well, Lyris will take sort of the lead since he's their main tracker.
Sounds good. Is there anything you'd like to keep your eye open for on the way as you get back to about where you turned around?
Not really. Signs of a threat or anything like that, but mostly it's going back to where we left off and then trying to pick up the trail again.
All right. Sounds good. Everybody, if you want, go ahead and make a perception check just on the way.
That is a 24.
Nice. Very nice.
Oh, I'm missing some of my dice. I don't know where they are.
13.
Okay. Yeah. You know, it's kind of remarkable. On the way, you're able to still pick up that old track that Broxl left. Excuse me.
No.
Oh. Tried to go for the mute. Was not fast enough. Yeah, you see that it's a pretty nice day outside. You're getting somewhat of an early start with your new companion in tow, and Riven seems to just be very, very focusing on the road ahead, scanning the ground directly in front of her, presumably looking for tracks, but we will remember that 24 should anything transpire. Yeah. Right. After a few hours journey, you make your way back towards the edge of the woods where you had turned around the day before after speaking to that bird.
Yeah.
Where you had lost the trail.
This is Zemali, also known as Make David Be Animals.
No.
Well, yeah, I'm going to continue on. We had a sense of how far into the woods he was by the scrying, right?
At the time, yeah, that was yesterday.
Yeah, but we'll head in that direction at least, because even if he's moved, at least fresher tracks might be in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like it seemed as though he was kind of growing roots in him, so I'm not expecting him to have gone very far.
But yeah, can I have Shanks? You said you're kind of leading up this endeavor as the ranger.
I think so.
All right. So can you make a survival check for me, please? And Riven will give you the help action.
I would also like to cast guidance.
Ooh. Okay, not as great as I would have hoped, but still, that's a 17.
17, yeah, that is not too bad. You know, it's complicated a little bit by the tracks now being more than a day old that you're following on, but with Riven's help, the scrying, remembering what you learned from that bird that you talked to, you're able to pick up on something that might be a trail. It's, you know, you're looking at very subtle things, a snapped branch here, all at the same level, just going straight through what is definitively not a designated, like, commonly traveled path through these woods. Let's go ahead and let's have a marching order here just for fun.
Well, if Riven's helping me, perhaps she's at the front with me.
Cam will take up the back.
And I will be in the middle.
We gotta protect our wizard.
Where the squishy boy lives.
It's a sandwich.
Wizard sandwich, and then Cam at the back. All right. So you follow this trail of broken twigs and snapped branches and depressions made in the underbrush for maybe about the better part of an hour into the woods. It's a little bit slow going. Do you have that thing that lets you ignore rough terrain yet?
I think I start with it.
Rangers, man. Yeah. So with the help of Laris and Riven being able to help guide you all through this undergrowth, it doesn't really slow you down that much. And you come to a place that looks very similar to what you saw in the scrying, a sort of semi-cleared area of lighter undergrowth with a large tree growing up in the middle, where you had seen what you presumed to be, or what you identified as Broxl resting up against that, setting roots into the soil.
Right.
And yeah, we can keep those perception checks from before. Even with a 24, he is not here right now. So he is, you can see where he was laying, or where he was set. There's some clear evidence of something at the base of this tree having been uprooted. It looked like just the plant was torn out by its stem.
Looks like he's doing some replanting, guys.
He's been uprooted. Okay, well, the good news is we have successfully found the spot. We know he was here not that long ago.
Gotta check my spills.
Based on the whatever's happening to him, I suspect that he's moving slowly. Of course, assuming that he was not picked up by something even larger and moved.
You think it's possible he got picked up by something larger, Riven says, and she starts looking around a little bit. And just, I don't think so. There's no... Because when we saw him, he was still the size of Broxl. There's no signs of anything around here moving, or that had been moving through here, that are large enough to have picked up or pulled out a creature of his size.
I agree.
So he got up on his own.
Could have been a flying creature.
Suppose that's possible.
There may be a dragon in the area.
A dragon?
That seems unlikely.
The stories I've heard aren't entirely credible yet, but...
Well...
So you're saying there may be a dragon in the area later? When the stories are more credible?
No, I said they're not credible yet. We may encounter more credible stories.
So you're saying we might encounter incredible stories.
I saw that one coming. I was like, no, we gotta move on before he says it.
So I'm walking away from Wade.
You find your own way out of the woods.
Cam is looking at the situation and listening to everybody, and she's like, well, what if his mind has gone? You know, he did seem quite scared that he was going to be a threat.
Didn't it sound like his mind was sort of split?
There was another presence, yes.
Which we still haven't really figured out.
Perhaps this creature needed to do whatever it did here and left.
Well, if he left on his own power, then he should still be leaving a trail, and I will go about trying to pick up on the trail of whatever he is now.
Yeah, please. Go ahead and make a survival check for me with advantage. Because Riven is helping.
Nice. All right. Well, that one's a 22.
Nice. Yeah, it's not too difficult to see. The footprints that pick up from where Broxl had sat down are notably different in shape from the ones that he left before he sat down. And you're able to see that they go a brief distance around this tree and then into back into the thicker underbrush distance, continuing northwest towards the base of the mountains.
Right. Well, convenient that it's headed where we're also looking to go. All right. Well, he points out to Ryven. I see here. This doesn't necessarily look like a normal track, but whatever's happening to him is changing him to look more like the underbrush itself. You can see here that he's moved northwest.
Well, let's be careful and stay on his trail. He's had some time, but I don't know how far he could have gotten. Let's assume that he's nearby.
Agreed. Also, let's assume he's dangerous, because what we fought at his shop certainly was, and he very well may be becoming something like that.
Let's assume that he's got the potential to be dangerous.
Yes, I'm not saying let's strike first, but...
Just so we're on the same page.
Yes.
All right. So Ryven is going to try and sneak through the underbrush. Anybody else would like to make a stealth check, please feel free to do so.
I do want to pick a different die, though.
I'm not particularly stealthy today. That's a 9.
Cam is going to attempt to, but she has disadvantage on this.
You can cast guidance on yourself.
That wouldn't help because I rolled a 2.
Nice. For a total of
2.
Nice.
Even though I'm off my game, I got a 16.
Wow. Well, Ryven got a 26.
Why does Ryven seem so much quieter?
Yeah, even you, Lyris, are kind of having a hard time knowing exactly where Ryven is at all times.
She's very good. I'm very distracted. I'm trying to track. I'm trying to make sure everyone's safe.
And I guess the noise that I'm making isn't helping much, is it?
It really isn't. Is there any way you could just stop stomping?
Oh, it's not the... I stomp?
You don't know that you stomp?
I thought I was just twinkling.
I mean, you land with your full weight on your heel with every step.
She seems like self-conscious about this. She's like, I'll try better.
Appreciate it. It's okay if it's not something you're good at, but be self-aware.
I'm very bad at that.
At least you're aware of that. It's something.
What's everybody's passive perception we got going on here?
16.
16.
14.
14. Yeah, so you, after about 20 minutes of attempting to sneak through this underbrush, you, Lyris, and Ryven both kind of react at the same time, and your heads snap to attention of something moved with a serpentine motion through the canopy of one of the trees just ahead of you and to the side.
A serpentine motion?
Yeah, kind of like...
Yeah, I know what it means.
Yeah.
I'm just clarifying. Do I have an inkling of the size?
It was difficult to say. Maybe about... You just kind of caught it out of the corner of your eye and then it was gone, but maybe about like this big around.
Just there. I saw something.
I saw it too.
It may just be a snake, but it may be a vine, which would be bad for us.
No snakes that big around here. Too cold.
Well, then we need to be on guard.
And I get my weapon out.
Mage armor.
The wizard equivalent of drawing your sword. Magic protect me.
Yeah. And Riven also readies her hands to do something. No weapon in them at this point.
You know what I mean?
I don't. Yeah.
You're good with that. You don't need your bow or anything?
Wizard.
Right.
That's just for emergencies.
It just threw me off because most wizards I know don't wear armor.
Well, I don't suppose it's too much of a surprise that my mom really wanted me to take after her.
I see. Yeah, I get that.
Can't lie, it does come in handy.
I mean, my father always wanted me to take after him, but you know what? So did I. So
My mother didn't want anything to do with me.
oh. That hurt Lyris and Shanks.
You see, Riven's not entirely certain how to respond to that.
She seems totally fine about it too.
I'm sorry?
Oh, well, thank you. It wasn't your fault. If I made it seem like it was your fault, I'm sorry.
Damn it, Vix.
The funniest character we've ever
had. Right. What were we doing?
Well, Cam, if it makes you feel any better, we like associating with you.
That does make me feel better. Thank you.
Good. Now let's go kill a monstrosity plant thing that might just try to turn us into plant zombies.
That would be bad.
Were you saying something after we fought that other plant monster? Were you saying something about being able to talk to plant monsters?
Oh, yes. I think that it understood me when I said some mean things to it.
I wasn't sure if we should keep that in mind before we start swinging our spells or swords.
We could definitely try to talk to, especially if there's maybe some hint of. I could see it formulating on his face.
Yeah. So, some time of attempting to stealth through the underbrush with mixed success.
It's probably all the talking we did.
Yeah, it didn't really help. You notice that every so often you see some kind of motion in the canopy just outside of your vision. A bush shakes as though something's moved through it, but upon closer inspection, whatever it was is gone. And after a brief period of time, you are met with a sudden thickening of the underbrush to become near impenetrable. Coming across a wall of shrubbery and vines and trees that have all kind of knotted and tangled together, was forming a wall in the middle of the forest.
Rude.
That's I think that's new.
As do I.
They don't come out this way very much, but I feel like we know about this.
Should we see if that it could be like cut through or something?
It's certainly worth trying.
I can just give me. Let me see something. You can try that if you like. I need a few minutes. and Riven will sit down on the ground and start casting some sort of ritual. Wade, you immediately recognize this as detect magic.
Detect magic.
Oh, fair enough. She's identifying whether it's of magical origin, which makes sense. Let me see if I can remove bits of it, and he'll take a swing.
Make an attack roll for me.
An attack roll is gonna be, I think it's an 8, but I can't remember. Let me scroll up. Yes, it's an 18.
Yeah, that definitely hits. You take which weapon are you using?
Oh, my short swords.
Short swords. Yeah, so you take a slash at the wall with your short sword, make contact, and cut through some of the vines and tendrils. Make some damage.
Make damage.
Make damage. I don't know why I picked that word, but here we are.
Let's see. Oh, I can't find the d6. Guess I'll just roll a d20.
Sure, I've got one. You can use this one.
Sorry, that was not in the thing. That is a 10. A 10
Nice.
damage.
That is a pretty solid hit. You swing at it, and several roots and branches slice through and fall clattering to the ground.
Okay. And
It took some damage. No, it's just basically you like shaved it. There's more behind what you cut off.
Sheep the thick bush. You're the one choosing these words.
Yeah, you know what? It's all my fault.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll use the other sword and take another swing. That's also an 18, weirdly, and
Also hits weirdly.
That's an 11 damage.
Similar, just more behind it. It does look like you've made a small divot in it now.
Well,
but it appears as though this is whatever this is very thick.
Very thick bush.
Yes.
I could
nigh
be shooting at this
impenetrable
all day, and we'd still never get what's within.
We'll workshop it. Yeah, after you're gonna keep hacking away at it.
I'm not sure there's much point. This seems like a druid spell, plant growth, but except gone completely mad.
Does it look like Riven is using a ritual?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll also cast Ritual Identify.
I mean, fair enough, yeah.
Freaking nerds.
There's 2 wizards now. Yeah.
Well,
what about you, Cam? Do you have any magic that might be useful in this situation?
Well, that depends. I mean, if this wall is somehow like part of a creature, then maybe I could try talking to it. But other than that, I don't have anything prepared today that would help. I came expecting that we would need to heal Broxl, and so I...
Yeah, I don't have any magic that I feel would be helpful, except for maybe that scroll that Wade gave me. I could fly overhead and
How
see.
tall is this underbrush?
It's difficult to say exactly. It kind of disappears up into the canopy, but probably not any taller than the surrounding trees.
Well, don't waste your scroll. I could also fly up there.
And I got a ladder.
He doesn't have a ladder.
Probably have to leave it here, but if we want to get over, we can at least
You're on mute, Shanks. I don't think you heard me.
You're on mute.
My bad. It's not just about getting over, it's more about determining the actual layout of what this is and how deep it goes and perhaps what's at the center, which I don't think a ladder would accomplish.
Certainly. I don't know. I can only cast spells so many times before I run out of magic power for the day.
Well, between you and Riven, figure out if this is magical, perhaps what the nature of the magic is, and we'll come up with a plan for dealing with it.
Yeah. So after about 10 minutes, the two of you finish casting your rituals. Riven finishes a little bit earlier since she got a head start, and very much... Yeah, this is magical in nature, all right. There's a aura of not transmutation, conjuration coming off of it. This obstacle was created.
Someone's, well, probably Broxl or whoever he is now, put this up to be protected.
Seems likely.
To protect himself, keep something out, keep something in. Hard to say.
Maybe it just needs time to change.
And then on that, you finish your identify spell. This is some variation of the spell Wall of Thorns. Which is not necessarily a spell that you're super familiar with. I think a higher level spell than you're capable of casting currently, and not something that wizards generally are familiar with.
Well, I'm not entirely familiar with the spell, but as one can see, it is a Wall of Thorns, which was a spell. It was magical in nature, but someone conjured a Wall of Thorns.
In theory, then, it should be possible to go around it.
I would imagine so. I will say, even though I'm not familiar with Wall of Thorns, this is not a typical Wall of Thorns. So I don't know if that means it's stronger or weaker. We can certainly try to go around it.
Make a Arcana check for me. Why not?
Arcana. That's an 11, so that's a good number.
That's about 10. Can't say exactly how it's been changed, but you know that one of the ways that this is altered is to have an extended duration.
Well, I do know it will last longer than the average Wall of Thorns, which doesn't tell us much.
Correct. Well, maybe we do need to climb up then and see.
Or we could just burn it.
Burn it to the ground.
I'm not too fond of the idea of setting fire to the woods.
I suppose that isn't the safest way to go.
No. It will almost certainly result in tragedy.
Well, some of the fire that I have, though, might not work like regular fire.
Are you saying you can limit its what
Well,
the fire affects?
Well, no. I just meant, like, I have sort of radiant fire. I was wondering maybe if we could damage it that way. You know, magic goes much further than a slice of a weapon.
But will it spread through the...
Oh, I have no idea. I don't think so. It's not actual fire. But also, if it's just a wall, maybe we should just walk around.
Is there a tree nearby that I can attempt to climb to
Several.
see over top? I'm gonna try to climb
Literally
one of these trees.
hundreds.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean like one particularly that climbable. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, you're able to find something not too far away.
Okay. Well, that's oh shit.
I am
That's not
going
great.
to get Cam to use her ASMR ability to sprout some glittery wings.
That's good because I rolled a 5 on athletics. So
Fall
like-
on your ass.
Trying to climb up, and you're like, can't really quite get a good enough grip to pull yourself up any further.
I still have a ladder.
I might need your ladder. Although it looks like Cam sprouted wings again, so maybe we'll just let her take a look for now.
Okay.
Right. Cam, you fly up and up and up and over the top of the trees, and you can see that this wall of thorns does go all the way up into the canopy, and there's like sparse vines and thorns and underbrush extending out a little bit past the top. If you were looking straight down from above, you'd be able to see the ring formed by this wall. It's quite large. It's about a 60-foot radius, you'd imagine, that's formed by this wall, roughly 5 feet thick of thorns and brambles and nasty stuff. And make a perception check for me.
That is a dirty 20.
Oh, nice. You're able to see a little bit of movement here and there, kind of shuffling through underneath the canopy in just some of the very sparse openings that exist when viewed from the top. Kind of difficult to tell exactly what it is, but the motion you're seeing right now is non-humanoid.
Okay, but I've determined that this area is like surrounded.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
walking.
it's a pretty high wall, right?
Yeah, it'd be about at this height, 30 to 40 feet high.
Everyone climb aboard.
It says, this is more, if this is some variation of a wall summoning spell, it's a bit stronger than anything I'm used to, but I might be able to dispel it or part of it. Not sure it'll work, though.
That could be beneficial. Cam, how long can you stay like that? Would you be able to fly us over one by one?
I could do it for about a minute before I get tired.
I don't know if that's going to be enough time.
I could also put something up there if we have rope or like a board of some sort or a ladder that we could put across the brambles up top.
Climbing it seems dangerous. We might be... if it's a wall of thorns, I'm concerned we might be taking damage all the way up and then all the way down.
Looking at it,
yeah.
it'd be a lot. Even if we do get scraped up climbing up over it, there'd be a lot easier than trying to push through it, that's for sure.
But if we put the ladder across and then tie a rope on one end hanging out from the wall... Oh, wait, do you think that you would be able to pull yourself up?
I'm not great at that.
Well,
Oh.
Well, Ryvan, it seems like you're our best hope then.
All right, well, let's see if I can at least dispel some of this. And she starts making the arcane gestures for dispel magic, and she's gonna have to roll for it. Nice. And with a a gesture of her hands and a quick arcane word, a very small portion, but small enough for you to squeeze through, kind of withers and falls away in the middle of this wall, kind of reducing to like a pile of dead leaves on the ground. I was hoping it would take down more than that, but I guess that'll get us through.
That's all we needed. Lyris is going to waste no time getting through there.
Right.
I think Cam will have gone over and just flopped down on the other side.
Yeah,
she has one of those like graceful shots where she's in front of the sun.
But then when she lands, it's just like the loudest fucking landing ever.
Yeah,
like
see,
somebody
that's what I'm
falling down the
talking about.
stairs.
You just always land on your heels, and it's just.
I need to look something up. One moment.
While you're doing that, Cam is just like, wait, this is just like that time that you made that part of that blizzard disappear.
It is similar, yes.
Except
I found it very
helpful.
fascinating. Yes, it was more helpful.
I feel bad now.
He was trying. It was a good idea. But yeah, once you get on the other side of this wall, it is just completely overgrown to the point where even for the rangers among you, this does function as difficult terrain. It is so thick.
She dick. All right. Well, we'll travel through it as best we can. Everyone, stay close. And
This counts as mechanically. This counts as magical difficult terrain.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
Before we start going into it, Cam is going to place a hand on Wade's shoulder and say, Wade, I really think that with all this magical stuff, we're going to need your help. You've got this. And she's going to give him her vigilant blessing, so you have advantage on your next initiative roll.
Ooh.
Oh, thanks.
She kind of lets him lead the way since she's so loud and clunky.
Yeah, heading towards the center of this mess.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, also I saw something. she's gonna relay that to everybody. Just all you should know before we go in there.
Well, that's good. That pretty much confirms my fears, I think.
And yeah, let's have a perception from everybody.
That's 13.
Nice.
25.
Nice.
5. I rolled a natural 1.
Oof. And Riven gets a 22. Nice. Right. Yeah. So, Lyris, you and Riven, as the party starts traipsing your way as best you can through this thick undergrowth, you hear some sort of motion behind you, and your heads swivel around, and it looks like some bushes that had been just kind of around have uprooted themselves and moved to fill in the gap that was created in the wall. And if you stay looking at it for a moment, it looks like there is, you see a small shrub uproot itself and kind of walk on these vine-like roots. and like drag itself across the ground and kind of climb up the wall and insert itself into part of this opening that you made as these plant-like entities start patching the gap.
I do not like that.
It's a little unsettling.
Has he awoken the plant life here?
Possible.
We may be literally surrounded by enemies.
They haven't attacked us yet, if we are.
But if things go south...
But maybe the source, though, matters. Because, you know, what if you kind of cut out the source of why they're alive and then they're not anymore?
That's true. But how many plants can attack us at once before we succumb to them? It's concerning, is all I'm saying. If things do happen to go south, I think what we need to do is use the fly spell and get the hell out of here.
I think that's a good idea. I can at least teleport myself and maybe one other beyond the boundaries of this area.
All right, well then we're in agreement. Is stealthing through this even possible?
It's possible.
Then, taking the lead, I think I'm going to have another go at trying to sneakily approach the center.
Got it.
Follow-up question. Is it probable?
For different party members, it is more probable than for others.
Not for this one, despite having expertise. I got an 11.
Wow.
Put that into context. I have a plus 10.
Yeah, it's very, very slow going in here, and actually that is a point.
I'm moving at a quarter speed to be completely not hidden.
Yeah. And then, okay, yeah, that's fine. It would be easy to get lost in here, if it weren't for the fact that you know that on the other side there is more wall. So you're not, if you do walk past, if you're off of the center of whatever this is, there's no getting out of here without missing that wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after maybe it's not a huge area, so after like a minute of shuffling through this undergrowth, and some of the plants continue to move every so often around you, you think that maybe that's what you were seeing in the canopy on your way here, moving vines. But they seem to be ignoring you. Just every so often you'll see like a little shrub just go and skitter and plant itself someplace else, and see a vine kind of climb its way up a tree.
We're all seeing this, or is just Lyris? Because
you're all seeing this now.
Okay.
It's happening with such frequency that it doesn't, like, if you catch it in your periphery, there's another one.
Then Cam is going to like one particularly close and fast moving shrub. She goes, excuse me. Oh. She's just like trying to get their attention, seeing if it works at all.
So I believe the item gives you advantage on checks made to interact with plants. It does not give you the ability to speak with them.
Yeah.
So Cam's talking to some plants.
Wait, it says, and you can communicate if shared a common language. Okay. So if they understand what she's saying, she could.
Right.
Are any of them making any sort of sound like language?
Make an insight check.
I ask because I speak primordial.
Oh wait, it says, and
As
you
do
can
I.
communicate with plant creatures as if you shared a common language.
Well, never mind. I forgot how all the item works. Homebrew stuff. Not mine. Somebody else's. I just
got a
thought it was
12
neat.
on the insight for the record.
12. It's difficult to say whether if there's anything that is a language, it's not registering to you.
Okay.
But let me see. Do they actually have any languages? Let me check for Cam.
They just shake their leaves at her.
Speaking
Shake
binary.
back at them, Cam.
Just the loudest sound ever.
All the
Okay.
jingling.
Yeah, so there's one like little holly bush that is scuttering along on the ground with some, those dark green leaves with little tiny thorns at the end and some bright red berries all over it, and it's moving itself along slowly on the ground. And what do you say to it?
She says, "Excuse me."
And it
May
just
I
kind of stops. And it doesn't have a face, but it does turn a little bit to orient a particular side of itself towards you.
Have you always been alive and running around, or is that just recent? Shake if it's a yes.
It shakes its branches a little bit.
Oh. I should have given a question that would have been answered with yes or no.
I also had a similar thought.
She's not very bright. She goes, "Is there danger up ahead?"
It does not do anything.
You can go now.
It shakes it at you a little bit and then continues.
She goes, "Wait,
Yes.
I think the bush understood me."
It did stop when you spoke to it.
Yeah, and I told it to shake for yes, and it seemed to understand that.
Did you perhaps try asking if it could respond in words?
I didn't think to do that, no. Should I do that again?
Yeah, you're able to find another one. This time there's like a vine that is swirling its way up a tree trunk and along a branch.
Vine,
You're looking vine today.
you're looking divine. Hi, I'm Cam. Can you speak to me? Do you know what that is?
You stand there for a moment in the vine, regarding you, and it does not make any sound.
Oh, but maybe you could curl for yes and just stay perfectly still for no?
How would a vine interpret that statement? It curls up a little bit.
Perfect, just like that. Is there... She looks at, wait, what should I be asking it?
Perhaps it's if it's seen anything that resembles what Broxl might look like now.
Oh, have you seen and she's like, well, he used to be like a lizard man who was quite large already, but I think he now might be some sort of tree hybrid, maybe kind of causing all of this. Can you point us to where we should go?
It curls up a little bit more.
Oh, that means yes. Can you like extend yourself into the direction that we should go?
Another like offshoot of it starts curling up as well.
Just like,
You have to tell it to do that, not ask if it can.
can you do that, please? It just keeps getting more and more curly as she has this conversation.
Yeah. The front, or like the growing tip of the vine rapidly unspools itself and kind of points off in a direction there that would be probably northwest of where you are now.
Oh, thank you, Vine. You could get back to your work doing the vine things that you do.
Continues curling itself around.
But you're doing beautiful work, she says as she leaves.
As you say that, this like nice this beautiful white flower opens on the side of it.
Oh, wow. I think it just showed off for me, she said.
You do have that effect on people sometimes.
I do. Do you show off for me?
I have.
She seemed put up, but Cam isn't. She's dumb, but she is insightful. That is an 18. I rolled an 11. She doesn't know what Shirley makes of that, but she's like, oh, like he's telling the truth about it.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's a very nice feeling.
Yeah, well, we should continue on.
We're talking.
Yeah. Go in that direction.
I go in that direction.
Following the instructions you received from the friendly vine. I love D&D.
Every
If I'm not
session.
mistaken, pointed us in the exact direction we were already headed.
Yes.
Yes.
It wasn't helpful. But Cam thinks she did a thing, so.
You did.
That was actually helpful because now we're going there with more confidence instead of like we're just
I
continuing.
think this is the right direction.
And now she knows that plants like to show off, so.
Yeah, the vine maybe like being told that it was doing a good job.
Yeah, maybe we should compliment all of the vines and plants that we see.
Bringing new meaning to the term divine.
Cam, at some point you're going to cast divine intervention.
And that vine's gonna show up.
Yeah, the same one.
Yes.
I love
We
it.
gotta remember that.
New party mascot. Yeah. After a brief moment more, you suddenly come to a break in the density of the undergrowth. Stops very suddenly. And there's a small, wouldn't really class as a clearing in any other sort of wood, but given the denseness, excuse me, hiccups. There we go. Given with how dense the undergrowth had been, it's comparatively clear. And sat on the ground, leaning up against a tree, seeming to have somehow not noticed you yet, is an entity that looks very similar to the description you got of what Broxl looks like now.
Should I try talking to it? I guess we could all just try talking. It might speak common.
Yeah, we should try talking. Perhaps we should get into a beneficial formation of some kind first.
Like what?
Well, I think the squishy caster should be up behind someone tanky, perhaps. And perhaps I'll flank over on the right side.
I could go for a nice flank right now.
Well, if this goes well, maybe we'll hunt a deer on the way back. I'll cook you up a flank steak.
Sounds wonderful.
Wait, if you stay close to me, there's some healing magic I have prepared today that helps just by being around me. So if things start to get that bad, well, it'll be beneficial for all of us, I think.
Sounds good.
She's gonna pull out her shield and wield her hammer one-handed.
Yeah, Lyris is going to kind of circle around on like a wide kind of berth and do like a 90-degree kind of angle from the center of the creature. If you get what I'm saying?
I think so, yeah. Cool. Who's going out to talk to him?
Me?
Should you talk? Maybe, I don't know. No.
It sounded like someone was going to talk to him.
Excuse me, Broxl? Are you still in there?
This entity kind of has the general shape of Broxl with like the lizard folk pronounced mouth, almost like a muzzle, and still a tail, now looking largely like it's a very thick vine growing out of the base of his spine. Completely covered in some sort of green plant matter that's growing over him with vines and small purple flowers here and there. There's a very earthy aroma wafting off as you step into the clearing. Yeah, as you step into the clearing, you can smell this nice earthy aroma wafting off of. It's almost pleasant a little bit. But this entity it turns its head towards you, and you can see that like two where the eyes would be, there's two flower buds that bloom open into these deep crimson flowers right where the eyes would be when you speak to it.
Like it sound like, oh look, it has like a flower face. That's kind of cool. At the same time, like, that's kind of fucked up. This thing had eyes at one point.
It is creepy.
And now there's flowers blooming there, and that's messing up my brain.
It's giving like Coraline vibes. That's
I'll take that.
That's the same feeling.
I'll take that.
I was thinking that demon from Jujutsu Kaisen, but
Mm.
You can hear it kind of, and opens his mouth to speak, and where there would be teeth, there's briars growing. Damn. I know you. And it sounds as though, again, there's it not quite like the who was it that cast sending to Broxl?
That
was Cam, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Was
that
Cam.
would have been me.
I thought that was Cam. So it's the voice that you hear is similar. It's not that you're hearing kind of two voices overlaid on top of each other like you did when you cast sending. It now sounds like they have merged and kind of met, like averaged themselves out into a new voice that has aspects of both. I told you not to come after me.
Are you too far gone, Broxl?
I don't know. I feel like I might be somebody else now. Is it just you?
No, I've brought some friends.
This is, that strange material you brought to my shop.
Oh, I'm very sorry to have caused that.
No, you didn't. Nobody could have known. Nobody could have known. I don't think I knew.
Are you losing your memories?
I have new ones, and it's hard to tell which ones are mine.
What are the new ones? Maybe it can help us if something happens to you.
It's like something was trying to take over me. And I don't think it did. I think I was able to take over it instead.
Do you think that's maybe only a temporary solution? It still seems like you're evolving in some way.
I don't know. This is very interesting experience. I can have a connection to plant life and things that I never did before. I think I like it. I think I like this form. It's new and different and interesting.
So you don't want us to do anything?
I'm not sure. I know I told you that I thought I might have been a danger, but I don't think that I am anymore. The last 2 days were excruciatingly painful, but it doesn't hurt anymore.
Do you mind if I approach?
Please, yes. Your friends, your companions can join as well.
I think Cam is going to turn towards Wade and say, do you think maybe you should stay here? We're not sure.
I don't. He didn't seem. How about I make an insight? Can I make an insight check to see if it feels safe?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Okay, let's see here. That's a 17.
17. Yeah, you don't sense any sort of ill intent from it. There, you don't get. It's definitely weird. Like there's bushes walking around, vines animating on their own, but nothing's been threatening or aggressive towards you since you've been in here.
Seems okay. I think we could approach. I would be interested if I would be interested in seeing if he'd allow me to cast Identify on him.
Yeah, you can do that. I'd like to know what I am.
And Cam, you want to accompany me to?
Oh,
Yeah.
I can do that. I've also prepared detect magic today. If we would like to do that while we're at it.
Like a plan.
All right. We got to detect magic. We got to identify. As you sit down and start doing the ritual for identify, the shifting continues in the woods. The plants keep walking around. There's then the identify spell goes off and just it comes back with nothing. Broxl is not currently under the effect of any spell.
This is what I had feared. If it's not even alchemy is related to spells.
And dispel magic won't work unless it's an actual spell effect, right?
Pretty sure.
That would stand to reason.
Shot, but if it's this is more. I'm almost. This might be more like something the Hall of Wilds might be more.
Well, what if they don't like? Some people are afraid of new things like this.
I was afraid as well. I think that's why I left.
You think? So you don't know?
Well, no, I was afraid. I was. I'm not anymore. It holds up its arms. It inspects his hands.
Do you mind if I ask? It seemed like you, I don't know, left out a window. What?
Yeah, it was really strange. I was experimenting, trying to understand the nature of the substance that you brought back. It's clear to me that it had some magical transmutative properties, and I don't. Well,
That's a little concerning because we keep encountering things like this everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but we keep encountering some strange things like this.
It's very peculiar, the amount of things that we have come across that are highly abnormal.
I will say, in my short time with this group, it's been one insane thing after another.
Yeah, I think I would have been a danger if I hadn't been able to. There was something that was trying to force its own sense of self on top of mine, and I was able to resist it. I think that if I hadn't, then it would have been different.
Did you cast this wall? Was that?
Yeah, I did.
That's very powerful magic.
I can. Plants listen to me now.
Oh. Is that your doing? Did they all just start walking about when you settled in here?
Yeah. The longer that I've been sat here, the more motion I've heard in the woods.
Dude. That guy, he came to talk to you, right? About the substance we gave you?
Flynn.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Go ahead, tell us about that.
He just had caught wind that there was a new potential alchemical reagent that had been discovered. Perhaps some new magical properties that he just seemed interested in that.
Did he do anything while he was there?
Mostly just asked a whole bunch of questions. Wanted to know where it was found, who found it, if I knew if it could do anything. He asked if he could have a small sample.
Did you give him some?
Of course. You gave me an entire barrel full. I didn't need it all.
Oh.
He didn't cast anything there in the shop, did he?
Not that I saw.
Do you know what happened to the shop?
I heard some great rumbling as I was fleeing away.
And do you know what led up to that?
Well, it was right when I was experimenting on it in the evening. After I'd come back from having some dinner. I don't think I've eaten anything in 2 days. I don't know if I need to eat anymore.
You do seem to have roots. Maybe that's how you're eating.
Yeah, it could be. But I was experimenting with it, and something I don't know. I must have done something. Some of the substance almost seemed to jump out of the alembic. I was distilling it in, and it latched itself onto my arm and started growing over me.
Oh.
I tried to get it off, but I couldn't, and I felt some sort of mental presence trying to force itself upon me, so I fled.
This may be a weird question. Do you feel like the source of this other entity is within the thing that attached itself to you, or do you think it's somewhere else?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. It felt somewhere else. It sounded like an echoing voice in the distance.
I do not like that.
I didn't either.
Is there any
That
chance
was the
that,
same.
Cam, your healing magic would have any way of removing this from him?
Well, when I thought about repairing like the ones that could possibly remove a curse, I believe that was discouraged. she seems like she's trying to beat around the bush at first, and then she just comes out and says it.
What about restoration magic?
You're gonna have to give Vix a second.
Wade, were you about to say something?
I'm just trying to wrap my head around like the sorts of spells or things that could lead to this situation. Like if this presence felt like it was elsewhere, what sort of magic would allow someone to attach its presence to this matter?
Well, I don't know where the voice and the presence was originating from, just that it sounded like it was far away.
Not the first that we've heard of something of this sort.
To answer your question, I don't think the restoring magic that I currently know how to do is going to help his condition. Unless I do notice that you have flowers for eyes. Are you unable to see?
I
Didn't see that coming. I guess neither did he.
Hey, it's strange. I'm aware of what's happening around me, but in all directions simultaneously.
Oh, I can actually
Then-
do something similar.
Then up to a point, and then it just stops.
That's disconcerting.
Sorry,
But I
Lyris
suppose-
can. What?
Sounds like Lyris, are you part plant as well?
No, I'm strictly, well, this.
All fish man, baby.
I've been training myself though to feel everything around me, and I sometimes just blindfold myself, and I am able to sense everything within 10 feet.
And sense blind people.
It's not plant people, but it's more like I just bounce my own sort of spirit off of everything around me.
Riven? Is Riven...
Riven is there looking on in fascination at Broxl. Just
Are you familiar with any sort of magic that could, like, extend someone's presence or imprint it onto an object?
well, there's some magic items that can contain souls and essences, usually used as some sort of backstop in case of unexpected death.
What about
I-
magic that dominates other creatures?
There's magic that can control, force your will onto others, usually for a relatively short period of time. And I say if you didn't detect, if identify didn't come back with anything, conventional magic is probably not at play here.
So here's what really disturbs me about all of this. So back at the shop, we found this other tree-like thing that was spitting out corpses, from all I can tell, that were being puppeted by the thing. And now we find out just a small amount of this goop went onto him and is now taking over his body, and he's changing possibly into something else that will also puppet other things.
And if someone else has the scoop now too and figures that out, that could be very bad.
Someone whose claim to fame is bringing necromancy back. It's concerning.
If it's not a spell, some creatures have abilities that go beyond the natural. So perhaps it's something along those lines.
That could be. I'm not. The first thing that comes to mind is some sort of fey creature, maybe, but this doesn't. I mean, there's plants and nature and all that, but it doesn't have the classic trappings that I'm familiar with of fey. But then, part of their whole deal is that they're kind of hard to predict. So what do I know?
What do we do about Broxl? We don't have the magic to fix him. He's concerned about being dangerous to others. There's something slowly affecting his mind.
And Broxl speaks up. I think that the only thing changing my mind now is me. I think if I have some time, I think I can sift out my memories from the ones that aren't mine.
But you have memories from this other
thoughts entity? Or notions.
What does it seem to want to do?
It wanted control. Most seemed what it wanted was influence. It seemed almost desperate or extremely enthusiastic, like when you've gotten something that you've wanted for a long time or had it in reach. I think I pushed it back, though.
That's great to hear. I'm not entirely certain we can trust that it won't make another attempt at it.
I can't blame you for not, but I think that I can trust it to not do that. I feel as though I have won this contest of will.
Do you wish to stay like this?
I think so.
Broxl, you're going to have to stay out here, though, I think. If you're going to stay like that, it can cause quite a stir back in Crystal Harbor.
Not only that, he's affecting the environment around him.
What was Wade going to say?
I was going to say that sadly people are oftentimes afraid of the unknown.
It's true. I wouldn't be able to go back. I don't know if I want to go back to town. It feels comfortable out here. I think this formal, if I can get a handle on this new body, I think I'm a plant now. I make potions out of plants. I am a plant. I think I'm going to be able to really advance my craft.
Well, if you're content to stay out here and you're not a threat to anyone, then I suppose there's nothing left for us to do here.
I don't think I'm a threat. I don't want to hurt anybody.
What was the nature of the experiment you were performing when the thing found itself to you?
I was trying to discern its properties to distill it down into its component essences and determine what magical applications they might have, if any. pretty standard stuff. I just really started working on it.
Right. It's just that Flynn may be conducting that very same experiment right now.
Well, if anybody in town can figure it out, it's certainly him.
Unless it takes over his mind, and then that thing is in the body of possibly the most powerful wizard we know.
That sounds dangerous. If what happened to me happens to him and he's not able to resist its influence.
I agree.
Some sort of synergy between the two.
Broxl,
He kind of stretches a little bit, and you hear like all these vines and like little plant twigs like snapping as he like kind of pulls himself away from the tree.
Sounds painful.
Not strange. He stretches a little bit more and it comes to stand up. Says, well, if it does to him anything like it did to me, should be able to tell, I think.
I'm going to check in on you in a couple of days.
I think that'd be a good idea. I don't think I'm going to go anywhere. I'll be right here.
I'll send you a message, and if anything seems amiss, then we will come back here.
Is there any this is a weird thing to even be asking, so like bear with me. Is there like anywhere on his form that I feel like I could place something that it would not like just grow away from him or whatever? Like,
How do you mean?
like if there's parts of him where there's like a gap between vine and flesh or anything where it's unlikely he's about to sprout something out of there.
You're gonna put like a little tracker on him?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, you have locate object, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like
It has
1,000 feet.
limited. Yeah.
Fair enough. But I mean, in the forest,
Yeah, in the
1,000 feet
forest,
could be a big
yeah.
difference, right?
If we have to come back here and track him down. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So like the distinction between plant matter and flesh is meaningless at this point.
Right.
I put a picture in our Discord server if you want to get sort of a sense of what you're looking at.
All right. Right. Okay. And there's like there's no clothing or anything left. Okay. I might just have to abandon this idea.
Ryven speaks up, says, Broxl, hey Ryven, we've met a few times. Yeah, you're always coming in for alchemical ingredients. Yeah. Sorry if this is a out of line question. Is there a twig or a leaf or a petal or some other part of your person that I might be able to take back to town to try to figure out what's going on with you, to see if you're in danger of progressing any further or anything like that? Yeah, I think that'd be all right. And he reaches up onto his shoulder, and there's like a little patch of some kind of leaves growing there with some small purple flowers on them, and he snaps it off a little bit and hands it over to her. Yeah, if you figure anything out, let me know. And if you do come back, if you do come back out this way, I would appreciate if I could impose on you to bring some alchemical tools. Left in a little bit of a hurry. Laugh, it chuckles a little bit, kind of a little concerned, mostly curious. Like, I think I could do that. Yeah, thank you, Broxl. She puts it in a little pouch on her belt.
Did Lyris like air any of his thoughts, what he was thinking about the locate object thing? Was he thinking out loud? No? Okay.
No.
All right.
Because he didn't want... If he starts to turn or anything goes wrong or anything, he might then just ditch the thing. So it was mostly like he was going to try to sleight of hand something onto him.
Okay.
Like a sort of pat on the back.
Yeah. Because I was thinking we could put Cam's glitter on it, and that stuff goes, just stays there forever.
The nice thing about glitter is you cannot get it off.
Well, we find ourselves in a bit of a position now, as we're going to leave him to it. We've come this far northwest. Do we want to head back that way and deal with other things, or should we go back to town and check on whatever Flynn is doing with this stuff?
Oh, yeah, I guess initially I was thinking that we should go check out the lights, but...
Well, Ryven, you were specifically here for Broxl, correct?
That's what dragged me out, yeah.
Yeah, we don't... we should probably ask what your plans are.
Well, it seems like there's something interesting, potentially very dangerous going on, and it seems that some sort of expertise in herbology and plants might be useful. And she very quickly casts some kind of spell around and takes a look around and says, I take it by your association with Mulberry that we probably have similar opinions about the head wizard. So, well, I guess it's really, I would be interested in tagging along if you're off to investigate other instances that may be related to this. Otherwise, I can head back and try and keep an eye on Flynn and what he's doing. It's up to you. And I'll be able to make it back on my own. Don't worry about me.
Do you have means of sending us a message if you do find that Flynn is doing something?
Not today, but I can do that.
Well,
you were planning on... Which task were we planning on doing next? The lights, the other...
Well, the lights are on the way to the mountains.
Other way.
Other way?
Yeah, because the lights that you saw were, and the same lights that you saw and the same lights that are in the help want ad were in the river running north up to Sten's Gap.
Right.
And as best as you could tell from the information that the Stormseer gave you, my map is loading. The flying spire that had crashed somewhere into the foothills of the Gilded Peaks was, like, if you head due north from where you are right now, you would run into it before you ran into the River Diaspora again, where
Oh,
you
so
saw the lights.
we're closer to the tower. Okay.
If you kept going this way, you would be able to approach the place where you saw the lights from the other side, like from the top of the mountain where you saw them.
Okay.
Right. I mean, that makes more sense anyway. We could go get the tower, bring it to Alvatinde, then take the river back again.
If we do the thing for Elvatende, then she might be able to provide us with even more useful help going forward in our other.
I'm sorry, who is this Elvatende?
Oh, sorry. We have a patron. That's we're the heralds of the storm, but none of us are named Harold. Like, I know that can be confusing.
There's a very powerful giant seer on the mountaintop, and she's sort of our benefactor at this point.
It raises an eyebrow at you.
I don't know if we were supposed to say that, but
I don't think we have anything to worry about from Riven.
It's just you lot are tied up in a whole bunch of interesting things.
It does seem that fate is throwing many hooks our way.
This is only the half of it.
oh yes, we also have another friend who's on vacation with our horse, Little Joe. It's true.
She can Riven kind of stares you up and down a little bit. You're not messing with me.
She is not.
Friend is capable of speaking with animals, and we happen to befriend a horse.
I know exactly what kind of ratio of oats to little bits of fruit that Little Joe likes in his granola bars.
Well, I guess it certainly wouldn't be boring if I came with you, but you're going after some sort of tower?
Yes. Magic Tower, if that piques your interest.
Though it would also be nice to have somebody in town watching Flynn.
That's true. That's true.
We could also warn Mulberry, though.
Yes.
We'd be delighted if you came with us, but it's entirely your choice.
Well, I would be glad to come with you. It sounds like if it would be... Mulberry loves being nosy. I'm sure she'll...
She's watching right now.
She's just in the bushes. She followed you out here.
Would blind sense work on a scrying sensor? You know when one DM spontaneously asks another DM a mechanical question, it's kind of like, uh-oh.
Wisdom saving throw.
Because
I'm gonna have to read.
See, invisibility works on it, right?
Yeah. Blind sense. It's the best part of D&D is discussions about the rules. Let's see.
We don't necessarily have to talk about it now unless there is a sensor nearby.
I do not believe that it would work.
Okay.
Reading the description of blind sense that I found here, it says the location of any hidden or invisible creature.
That's a good point.
Now, if it were a sentient scrying sensor, we might be able to talk.
Is he evolving into a scrying modron?
It's the little guy behind a tree.
Doing the chopper hide. Yeah, so I'll be glad to come along with you. I didn't bring supplies for a lengthy expedition, but I'm sure we'll be fine.
I'll be happy to share. I've got plenty of supplies, and we can also hunt and forage.
Broxl, are you sure you'll be all right? I think so. I'd really like the chance to get to know this, whatever this is, a little bit better. And I don't feel like I'm changing anymore. I think whatever was going to happen has happened. That's what it feels like, anyway.
A question to the DM.
Yeah.
Earlier, and I don't remember when, but I had received necromancy spellcasting materials. Would any of those have dual purpose for alchemy or whatever Broxl would be interested in?
As far as like material components, there'd be some that could be useful, but he's specifically asking about like alchemist's tools, that set of equipment, which would not have a lot of overlap with just regular spellcasting stuff.
And,
yeah.
I think he has access to all the plants he needs.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, come here, plant.
Oh, I was gonna ask, are all the plants within your radius, are they now sentient?
I don't think that's entirely accurate. There's a semblance of sentience in some of them.
More like automatons?
I think
Like,
so.
Sort of like animated.
If I focus, I can... It was very strange. If I focus enough, I can displace my senses into some of these plants that are moving around.
Oh, that's a handy trick, especially if you're sitting down and you suddenly sprout roots. You wouldn't want to get up from something so comfortable. It's like the equivalent of like, hey, hand me the remote over there.
It's like, I am one with the couch right now. Do not make me move.
Yeah.
I think if you do come back, I'm gonna keep working at what I do. If you need anything, we might be able to arrange a trade. From what I understand, I need a new place of business now.
Oh, we were just talking about how we should be like a marketing team. I wonder if we could help bring you business. How do we always be full?
The skeleton.
You want to look like this guy? Get your skeleton.
No.
You want to be able to cast
arrest all of you.
You want to be able to cast powerful spells just like this dude right here? Skeleton.
All you have to do is make a series of increasingly difficult wisdom saving throws.
No refunds.
Well, if he's content and we've got a direction, perhaps it's time we move on and let him commune with himself, I guess.
Are you able to make it easier for us to can you part the way out? Because it was a little bit challenging getting through all of the... Our friend had to use some magic.
I guess it would be, wouldn't it? I can... One thing, I'm going to show off a little bit here.
Okay.
And he just steps backwards and phases directly through the tree behind him and comes out the other side of it. It kind of his like the bark kind of opens up and closes around him, takes it into the tree, and then does the opposite on the other side.
I'm glad that bark didn't have any bite.
Oh, God.
Couldn't even get your own pun out.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't proud of that one, but I had to say it.
Respect. But I think so. And he gestures towards where exactly is it? Are you heading?
We're heading northwest still, right?
Yeah, we're going to the towers, I think. Yeah, to
Yeah.
find
From
the tower.
here, it'd be mostly north.
Mostly north. Oh, okay.
We are heading
Right. Oh,
mostly north.
I see where we are. Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, we're heading north.
And he just kind of looks towards the north, and so the shrubs pull themselves up out of the ground and step to the side, and for a short distance ahead of you, and then just, I think they'll keep out of your way.
Well, that's nice of them.
Thank you.
For you, I mean, essentially, right?
I missed that.
Oh, he said that's nice of them, but essentially it's you, right?
It's weird.
It
Yes,
is weird.
I think.
It is so weird.
Perhaps once you've gotten this all figured out, we can talk more on it.
I think with some time, I'll figure it out.
Maybe in the meantime, if you're expecting a new place of business, maybe she should think about not having the ground so difficult to traverse for potential visitors.
That could be a good idea. I think it would be easier for people. Yeah,
Oh,
I
and
like that.
if you tell she points to a vine that's snaking by. If you tell them that they're doing a good job, they'll make pretty flowers that I'm sure everyone would love.
You're doing a great job up there. Ah, look at that.
Well, we'll talk to you in a couple days.
Sounds good. I think I should have a better understanding in a couple days. But be careful if you run into any more of that stuff. The transformation process was thoroughly unpleasant, and I don't wish that on anyone.
Yeah. We should probably be more careful with the things we find in the future.
It probably wouldn't be a good idea to jump in a whole vat of it, I suppose.
You know, in retrospect, with what happened with just the little bit that got on my arm, that doesn't really seem like a great idea. And he's not even here to defend himself.
Well, take care, Broxl.
Thank you. I think I'll be okay.
Good luck.
And you too. Something's going on. I think you'll get to the bottom of it.
Was there anyone else around your shop when the incident occurred?
Hard to say. There's, I was working late at night. Occasionally, there's some people that walk about in the old docks. Occasionally, people will walk past the shop at night. I didn't notice anyone in the store or hanging around or anything like that, if that's what you're meaning.
I'm just wondering if that other creature was originally a person who had been consumed by that entity.
That's a good question, Raven says. answers just prompt more questions, don't they?
They do.
All right. Headed north.
Yeah.
Seems that way.
Right? And as you make your way towards the northern edge of this little enclosure that Broxl's grown up around himself, the plants part in front of you, and you come to the briar wall, and it takes it a little while to kind of untangle itself, but eventually the vines and brambles do make a doorway wide enough for you to walk through.
Great job, everyone. We're beautifying this forest one compliment at a time.
A bunch of flowers grow up on the wall as you compliment it. All right. And we're about 15 minutes from our regular end time, and it feels like it might be an okay stopping spot. How's everybody feeling?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.